The small pale host is already suspended between three floating black ribs. It hangs in the center of the circular arena, its cracked mineral shell glowing faint blue from inside. Around it, iron dust bends in slow curved lines, as if the air itself has become water. Behind the host, a heavy black alien torso hangs low and faceless. There is no head, no eyes, no mouth, no legs. Only a sealed central body, still as a dead machine, surrounded by 6 enormous rib arcs floating outside it like broken pieces of a skeleton that refuse to stay inside. At first, the ribs look like armor. They form a wide broken cage around the torso, curved outward, guarding it from every side. The pale host drifts closer, reading the blank torso as the danger and the ribs as a shield. The torso does not turn. It cannot turn. This creature has no forward direction. Its body waits at the center while its bones move for it. One rib arc rotates, not on a joint, not on a tendon. It turns through pressure, sliding through amber fault light without touching the torso. The floor rings below the monster wake in a dim circle. Suspended iron dust bends toward the moving bone. The host's shell trembles and the blue nerve, light inside it flickers once. The second rib shifts, the third follows. Now the cage is no longer protecting the alien. It is measuring the host. The pale body rotates between the arcs, 1/5 the height of the central torso, small enough to fit inside the broken circle, too solid to pass through the pressure field. Its cracked shell brushes the edge of the nearest rib. The contact is silent, but the arena reacts. Black floor rings glow amber, dust bands curve inward. The cracked glass wall reflects 6 rib shadows turning at once. The host pulls away from the torso. That is the wrong direction. The danger is not the blank body behind it. The danger is the skeleton floating outside the body. The ribs close another degree. The space around the host tightens. Blue nerve, light leaks through the shell cracks in thin threads. The ribs do not bite, they do not pierce. They align, each arc finds a different part of the host's shell, and together they create a pressure field shaped like an invisible stomach. The torso remains motionless. That stillness is the first real horror. This alien does not lunge because its bones do the hunting. It has no internal skeleton to push against, no legs to brace, no mouth to feed. Its external ribs are not support structures. They are organs. They hold, digest, reproduce, and move the adult by magnetic alignment. A 4th rib enters the circle. The species rule is completed. The harvester cannot feed until at least 4 external ribs close around a host. Before that moment, the cage is incomplete. The pressure leaks, and the pale mineral body can still drift away. But when the 4th rib locks into the arena, the floor rings brighten, and the iron dust folds inward like dark rain. The host stops rotating. Its shell begins to glow from inside. The ribs close slowly, one after another. The first arc draws blue nerve, light toward its inner edge. The second pulls fine mineral flakes from the shell. The third vibrates without sound, bending the dust into a spiral. The 4th holds the host at the exact center of the pressure field. The remaining ribs continue circling the faceless torso, waiting for their place in the feeding geometry. Now the misread is gone. The ribs were never armor. They were the stomach. The camera pulls back to show the whole body system. A black torso with no face hangs in the arena like a heavy organ without bones. Around it, the bones float outside, each curved rib separated by visible bands of magnetic pressure. The arena is not a background. It makes the invisible visible. Black floor rings, suspended iron dust, low amber fault light, cracked curved glass, and a ceiling so low the rib cage nearly scrapes it as it turns. The host shell distorts. Not crushed flat, not broken open, pulled into shape by pressure. Its blue nerve, light streams outward in thin arcs, drawn from inside the shell toward the ribs. The mineral surface dulls where the field touches it. The host is still whole, but its outline begins to echo the rib cage around it. Then the adult body loses balance. One rear rib shudders away from the circle, the torso dips lower. The external skeleton is not decoration, it is the body's stability. Every rib that feeds also holds the adult together. If a rib detaches too early, the adult survives but becomes temporarily immobile. If it never detaches, no new body can form. The feeding event changes meaning. This is not just predation, this is reproduction. The glowing host outline stretches toward the shuddering rib. Blue nerve, light and pale mineral dust collect along its inner curve. The rib splits from the adult's magnetic pattern, slowly peeling away from the broken circular cage. The remaining ribs tighten around the torso, trying to hold its shape. The faceless body sags, its underside lowering toward the floor rings. The newborn frame is forming. It is not born from a womb, egg, mouth, or wound. It is a rib arc, leaving the adult with the host's trapped outline still inside it. The small pale shape that entered the arena as prey becomes a ghost within the first bone of another body. The adult can no longer move, its remaining ribs hover unevenly. The broken cage leans to one side, iron dust falls in bent lines around the torso, no longer perfectly circular. The floor rings dim and brighten, trying to restabilize the pressure field. The adult hangs there, enormous, faceless, and incomplete. The detached rib drifts away. Inside its black curve, the host's blue nerve, light remains visible, not as a living escape, but as a cold afterimage. The new frame carries that outline into the dark edge of the arena. The cracked glass catches its reflection, making it look like two newborn bones are leaving at once. Behind it, the adult's external skeleton closes into a damaged ring. The pale host is gone from the center, the torso has not moved. The ribs have done everything. The final image holds on the young rib, frame floating away under amber fault light, iron dust bending around its curve. The faint blue outline of the host still glowing inside it. In the background, the faceless black torso hangs lower than before, surrounded by an incomplete cage of ribs. This alien's skeleton was never inside its body. It waited outside, it closed like a stomach. And one piece of it left as the next body.